Welcome to Let's Talk Petty. We are not petty, but we sure love talking about it.
Yes, we do. I'm Andrew.
I'm Kate.
How are you?
I'm weirded out by you right now.
Mission accomplished.
But I'm still ready to tell you my story.
What's your story?
My story is about two actresses from Sex and the City.
My third favorite TV show of all time.
I thought it was your second.
Third.
Okay. Seems like it's your
Never
second.
seen one episode of it.
Me neither. And I actually say that.
You just said it.
Nope. I say it again later. So people are going to have to now hear it twice. Because I won't change what I wrote. I'm just kidding. All right, you ready for my title?
The question is everybody else ready for the title?
Well, I can't ask everybody else. Or I probably would. So here it is.
You don't want to take an informal poll?
Nope. Sex in the City again? No, thank you.
Wordplay?
No, thank you.
It's not wordplay?
I'm just reading my title again.
Wait.
No, thank you.
Sex in the City again? No thank you, no thank you?
No, thank you. No, I was just rereading it.
We only read half of it.
That's it. That was my title. Sex in the City again. No, thank you. And then I emphasized with a dumb voice, no, thank you. What do you think I wrote? No, thank you, no, thank you?
So who is the TV show in a petty feud with?
Well, it's not the petty or the show that's in a petty feud. So this is Sarah Jessica Parker, which you got to know her.
I know who she is.
All right. Versus Kim Cattrall. I think I'm saying that right.
Cattrall?
Cattrall? Cattrall? Cattrall?
Katrina?
Well, just so everyone knows, Sarah Jessica Parker is in one of my favorite movies ever. Hocus Pocus.
I thought you were going to say the Sex and the City movie.
Yeah. I've never seen it, but it's my favorite movie with her in it. I don't have to see it to know it's good because she's in it. No, Hocus Pocus. One of the best movies ever.
She is your seventh favorite actress.
I do keep a very detailed list of my favorite actors and actresses.
I'm not going to lie. I found your journal on my side of the bed under the mattress where it's your actress journal and you're constantly updating your top 10 list of favorite actresses.
It's hard to keep up with.
Makes my side of the bed lumpy, but...
It's worth keeping it over there, though.
All right, well, tell me, what is their feud?
So we are going to get into it. First, do you know how long Sex and the City has been a popular TV show that was also made into two movies? How long it's been around?
How long it's been around or how many seasons it had?
How many years it's been since it first started and has continued to be popular right up till now?
I'm going to say 24 years.
Did you read my notes?
No.
It's 24 years.
Yes.
What? Oh, how did you guess that right? You read my notes.
I've not read your notes.
I love
I'm
how we always accuse each other of reading each other's notes.
I'm
And we
just
know we
guessing
don't.
the late 90s. It seems like
it came out right after we got married.
I'm thinking like 98, 99 it came out, so I just guessed 98 and went with 24. I'm getting...
I guess I shouldn't be so surprised because it really did come out right after we got married. So
I knew it was right around that time in the late 90s.
So good guess. All right, so the stars of the show had been around for a while, some as mostly TV actresses and some as movie stars. Like we said, you and I have no clue what this show is about.
One of the ladies was in an episode of Seinfeld.
She was in an episode of Seinfeld.
And she brushed her teeth with a toothbrush that fell in the toilet.
Yes, she did. And she used to be on a show that I actually really did like and that they talk about in Seinfeld, which is funny because the actress is on Seinfeld and they watch Melrose Place and she was on Melrose Place.
Wait, which one was on Melrose Place?
The one who dropped her
Oh.
toothbrush in the toilet. She was on Melrose Place. I really did like that show. I don't know why. It's so dumb. I loved it. I loved watching it.
I remember you loved watching that show.
I did. It was a good show. All right. So the one that what we're going to talk about to Kim Cattrall. She was in the movie The Mannequin, which I also loved. That movie.
I love that movie.
You've never seen it.
I know. Never knew it existed till you just said it.
All right. Well, it is a good movie. Another movie that we're going to watch one day.
Mm-hmm.
When we're old and crippled.
Sure.
We're going to watch all these movies. You're doing it. All right. So a brief rundown of this. It's a romantic comedy drama set in New York City and is an adaptation of Candice Bushnell's newspaper column and 1996 book of the same name. The show follows the lives of a group of 4 women, 3 in their 30s and 1 in her 40s.
Should my life be this difficult?
What is
I
that
often
from?
wonder that when I'm shopping for shoes in a new store. And then I come home and sit on my bed and type on my typewriter.
No, she was on a laptop. On her bed.
Laptop.
Not typewriter.
Yeah. I meant to say laptop.
Yeah, you're going too far back in time.
That was the whole premise at the end of the show is she'd sit there.
Yes, I've seen those
made fun of
scenes.
it.
Yes. So, despite the fact that they have different natures and ever-changing sex lives, they remain inseparable and confide in each other. So that's the show. And I'm going to bring up a story. I'm going to kind of spring it on you.
Uh-oh.
I want to see if you remember this at all. So even though you and I have no clue anything about this show, do you remember how we got a little benefit from the popularity of the show? Do you remember this?
Benefit from the popularity of the show, other than the fact that many people over the years say that I look like one of the guys on the TV show, like twins.
Which you don't, but you're just both bald. That's all. That's all there is to it. But
so I get him, Dana White, and what's the other guy?
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel,
you get all of the time. It's very funny. No.
I'd like to find someone that has 3 celebrities that look like them.
Yeah. So you don't remember this at all? You don't remember this little benefit we got out of it?
I'm remembering something. I remember somebody compared me to him somehow. I don't know.
Okay. So remember when we bought our house here in Florida, nobody for some reason told us that we had to apply for the Homestead Act.
Okay.
Do you remember this?
I remember that.
And what that does is basically establishes you as a full-time resident that lives here year-round.
Right. They're like, oh, you're on that TV show. You're famous. We're just going to handle it for you.
Yes, but do you remember the whole premise of it?
No.
All right, so I'm gonna talk about it. So this whole thing was a huge deal because remember, if you don't have that homestead exemption, your taxes are crazy high. So at that point, we might as well just move back up to New York if we're gonna pay crazy taxes. So we find this out because we get this crazy huge tax bill, and we're like, what in the world is going on with our taxes? So we are like, what do we do? I can't remember. I think we called our real estate agent and asked them about it. Like, that's how bad it was because we had no clue what was going on, and they told us that.
Yes, and they recommended just put an abandoned sign on our front door and leave.
No. So we figured out, though, to get the homestead exemption applied, it's ridiculous, and it moves at the speed of a sloth that has been drugged for surgery. It was super frustrating, the whole process. We were going to have to maybe possibly pay those taxes and then hope that we would either get a credit for further taxes or get reimbursed. But it was a lot. It was a lot of money. So we were like, obviously, we're not going to pay this in the hopes that we'll get a credit. That's insane. So we're halfway through the process. Already we're super irritated, and then we find out we have to go downtown and see a specific clerk to get the rest of it taken care of. So we make the appointment, and of course that's like months away. So we have to take off work, go down there. We go in to see this clerk, and she is just the most typical unfriendly government wenchikin that I've ever seen in my whole life. We get ushered into her cubicle. She doesn't even look up. She just starts filling out all of the paperwork, asking us questions, plugging all the info into her computer. Is any of this ringing a bell?
Mm-mm.
So as she's putting all our information stuff in, she tells us basically, this is what's happening. It's still going to be a long time. You're probably going to have to pay these taxes, blah, 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 blah. And we're in there for like a good 5 to 10 minutes before she even decides that she's going to turn and actually look at us. So she turns to look at us and she sees you. And I've never seen a person go from such a I want to kill myself, I hate this job person to just gushing over a person that they are sitting near. Are you remembering any of this?
What I told you before is exactly what I remember, and that's
well,
all.
I'm hoping that I'm triggering some memory. So she not only is gushing over you,
you could have made up 90% of this, and I would just say, okay.
I can't believe you don't remember this. It was so hilarious. She was so flustered by you. She was blushing. Her neck is turning red. She's blushing so bad over you. And then all of a sudden, magically, she's like asking you all these questions like, oh, how long has this been? What have you done? She has all this empathy for you all of a sudden. And she's like, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to talk to some people and I'm going to see if I can't get this fast tracked. And I'm like, what is going on? But I'm also like, yes, I'm going to use this in our favor. And I'm like trying to melt into the background so that she can just focus on you. And she goes off, does whatever she does, comes back in just so proud of herself. Like, I got this all taken care of for you. It's only going to take a couple weeks. You're not going to have to pay those taxes. Everything will be fine. What was in your escrow is going to take care of it. Oh, she's so happy she helped you. And then at the end, she's like, have you ever seen that show Sex and the City? And I was like, that's what it is. She thought you looked like, remember his name?
No idea.
Even Handler.
Even? How about Evan?
Evan? Even? I am amazing at pronouncing names this time. He's the one who was married to Charlotte, who is played by Kristen Davis, the one that's in Seinfeld and Melrose Place.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, he's so nice on the show. He's just such a nice guy. And every time I look at you, it's all I see. She loved you. And it was
served
great.
Its purpose for the day, I guess.
It definitely did. So that was our little benefit from that show being so popular. It helped us get a crotchety government worker to help us out.
That's what you get for looking like Even.
He was a character Even Steven is based off of when Seinfeld was talking about that. That's what they're talking about.
Harkening back to our last episode, Even the Liquor.
Even the Liquor. Anyway, I could not share that story. You don't seem interested in the slightest.
I just don't remember any of it.
I can't believe you do not remember
I remember it
it
had something to do with Even, and that was it.
Well.
Someone thought I looked like him, like I said.
Yep. People, when that show was a little bit more popular, would always say stuff to you about that. But yeah, that day it got us that. So now we're going to.
Vin Diesel.
Now you're just Vin Diesel. You do get that more now. All right. So now we're going to go into what this petty feud is about.
Oh, and what's the other one? What's that podcaster's name? Joe Rogan. I get that one sometimes too.
Oh my God. You even get that you sound like him.
I get Joe Rogan, Dana White, Vin Diesel.
Joe Rogan, I just cannot see at all. I looked it up when somebody said that and I was like, what? You kind of, I guess, can sound like him over like a podcast, like what we're doing now. But other than that, I don't see it. All right. So Sarah Jessica Parker, she played Carrie Bradshaw, and Kim Cattrall.
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 I said Cattrall and you said
Cattrall.
There you go.
It's hard for me to say names. She played Samantha Jones. Just recently, there was a mini.
Oh, that was her catch noise that she would always make. That she'd say things in that dumb.
How do you know that?
Because there's another podcast I listen to and they make fun of it all the time.
Okay, because I have no idea.
A Triscuit. Oh, I need to drink a glass of wine. Oh.
So all you know about this show is off of another show that you listen to that makes fun of it.
And all the times that she's ever been made fun of for typing on her computer on her bed and the dumb things she would write.
Well, that was Sarah Jessica Parker.
That's literally all I know about the show.
I love it. All right, so they just had a mini series done on HBO called "And Just Like That," where Kim Cattrall, who was a huge part of the show, was missing. So apparently, from the very beginning of the original show, supposedly there had been talk that Kim and Sarah did not really get along.
Well, yeah, Kim Cattrall went on the Friends reunion instead. She got lost.
No.
Yeah.
What? Is this off of your show again?
No, I just made that up.
You're such a nerd. I love it. I'm going to say that as many times as I can. I love it. So one article I read said
that's going to be the new T-shirt picture of you that coming with a little word bubble coming out of the mouth.
I love it. The fuel for this petty feud was jealousy, rivalry, and money.
3 things that make people hate people and
act crazy
and be very petty about things.
Yeah. So tensions on the set began because, according to the real life inspiration for one of the characters on the show.
Wait, the set of the reunion or just the actual TV show?
Reunion?
Or the special?
No, this is tensions on we're talking about the original show now.
The one that started 24 years ago.
The one that started 24 years ago. There was the real life inspiration for one of the characters. I guess he would be on the set, like, I guess helping out, making sure his character was played correctly. I don't know.
Weird.
No, they do that sometimes.
Who's they? The government?
Yes. The government has this law that a lot of people don't know about, that if you are ever going to have a character based on you, by law, you have to be there to make sure that it is played as closely as possible to yourself.
So when someone makes a movie about this podcast and how we started it.
Yes. Which is going to definitely
I'm
happen.
going to tell you that I'm not going to go on the set. Just so you know ahead of time, I'm not going to go on the set on Thursdays and Tuesdays.
You have to just be available for whenever.
Nope. Tuesday, Thursday's out. So whichever studio gets the rights to this film.
This isn't going to work.
Tuesday, Thursdays are out for me.
They're going to prosecute you.
Prosecute me?
Yeah, it's a law. It's a law from the government.
Wait, so wait a second. So the person you're making the movie about gets punished.
Yes,
because there's a movie being made about them.
Correct. That's what the government's law allows.
That's amazing that they make so many movies about people, because I can't imagine too many people being willing to open their lives up 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to sit on a movie set. I just said
it's a very little known law by the government.
All right. Well,
I'm going to make that one of a conspiracy
no movies
theory.
about us, please.
Okay. So anyway, tensions are high because, according to this guy, Kim was a natural comedian and a scene stealer in the best possible sense. The camera went right to her. That's what he's quoted as saying. This seemed to bother Sarah since she was, after all, playing the main character.
So they both wanted to be lead actress in a show about 4 actresses. Yes.
So Sarah Jessica Parker and Cynthia Nixon, who played Miranda, who I am pretty sure is the redhead on the show, knew each other from their days on Broadway, so they already had a connection. And then Kristen Davis was drawn to them. Plus, she could just be like, I was on Melrose Place, so I'm best.
But Sarah Jessica Parker is married to Matthew Broderick.
Yes.
Good thing I know that. Bet you didn't think I knew that.
I am kind of impressed that you did know that.
Because he was from Broadway himself.
Well, he was in another one of my favorite movies, which I don't think you've ever seen, Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
I've seen that like 1,000 times.
What?
I've seen it multiple times.
All right. I'll believe you. So they all just get along right away. But Kim only has one ally, which was the series creator and producer Darren Star. But then he leaves the second season. He's replaced by one of Sarah's friends, So then Kim has no one. She has no allies on this show. She's just kind of a loner.
She's just off on Kim Cattrall Island.
She is. So at first, it was little things that were getting reported on, like how when there was a shoot in Atlantic City, New Jersey, Sarah rented a house for her, Cynthia, and Kristen, leaving Kim to get a house by herself. HBO denied any issues, saying that Kim got her own house because her husband was supposed to join her. But then there was the 2004 Emmy Awards. People started to notice that Kim is sitting by herself while the other three sat together. But when asked about it, Kim just said, "Are we the best of friends? No. We're professional actresses. We have our own separate lives.
Are we the best of friends? No, we just hate each other.
We just can't stand each other. And so we didn't sit near each other at the Emmys, and we don't stay in houses together." Oh, wait, that's just me? Crap. So also in the second season, this is where the money part comes in.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, she is given an executive producer's title, which bumped her pay up to $300,000.
An episode?
I'm pretty sure it's an episode. Usually it's per episode.
HBO money.
Yeah. So Kim decides, well, if she's making that, I'm going to negotiate for a higher salary as well. For some reason, this made the other three actresses upset to the point that they wouldn't even sit with Kim at mealtime. Which sounds like a high school movie where, they always have that scene in the cafeteria, which I'd love to see a school that this actually happened at.
Where someone wasn't allowed to sit at the table?
Yes.
Sure,
Give
it happens
me a
all the
break.
time.
What?
Some of us went to high schools bigger than 30 people. Where everybody's friends with everybody because you know everyone since kindergarten.
Okay. I guess my view is very jaded.
Very jaded.
Well, never mind then. So Sarah did say that all of them were friends, sticking up for Kim by saying she shouldn't be vilified for mentioning money. She shouldn't be asked about it or anyone hold any feelings against her for it. So there's rumors, though.
Just say you never should talk about money.
Why?
Well, because of what we're talking about right now, people start hating each other.
They do start hating each other over it. Plus, there's just some things like, I don't know, maybe she had writing parts in it or something. Maybe there was more to it than Kim realized. I don't know. You never know why someone's making more money than you. So there's rumors.
Always assume the worst about someone if they're making more money than you.
Always just
never assume the best. Always assume the worst.
They're terrible. So we have these rumors that Kim is holding up the first movie. So now we're jumping in time to when the first movie is going to be made. But what really was happening at that time was she was going through a divorce and she was trying to take care of her father who had been diagnosed with dementia. She simply needed some family time. A lot of the gossip was probably just for a good story, but there was definite tension among the four actresses, especially Kim and Sarah.
I remember all that hot goss.
That hot goss?
Mm-hmm.
I do not remember any of this hot goss. I don't know how I missed it.
I really don't remember any of it. I don't know
liar.
Anything about this.
Such a liar. So in 2009, it was leaked that Sarah and Kim weren't even speaking on the set, and it was making everyone uncomfortable.
So what happens when they had scenes where they had to talk to each other?
I guess they just turned on the actress charm and
so they spoke during scenes, but not outside scenes.
Obviously, they have to talk to each other during scenes. They can't.
Just imagine someone writing the script, writing them in the same scene, in the same room, and they're supposed to talk to each other, and they just walk in, just stare at each other.
No, they won't even look at each other.
Okay, well, they walk in, look down at the ground, look up at the ceiling, just kind of doing whatever. Well, I guess we got to do a quick rewrite.
Of why they're mad at each other and not.
But nobody learns from it, and they just keep writing the same stuff with them in the scenes.
I have to rewrite everything every single week.
It'll be different this week. I know it.
Seems like a big headache. So every time the two of them were asked about all of this, though, both denied it and said that it was all blown out of proportion. Kim herself even stated that, "I think Sarah is fantastic. She and I are sick of this. It's exhausting talking about it and a real bore."
That's a lie, but
Yeah, it's a big lie. Obviously, it's a big lie. It's a real bore.
it's a real bore.
Give me a break.
That's how she would say it.
All right, so then there's an interview in Marie Claire in 2010 where Sarah did admit that sometimes feelings get hurt and it's not always smooth sailing, but it's not a huge deal. Kim backed her up and said it's just the press hyping things up. Over the years, all 4 women would echo these same sentiments that they all got along just fine.
Of course they're going to say that.
Yes,
They don't want their legacies ruined.
Mm-hmm. So, of course, though, the rumors, they persisted, and it was said that by the end of the series, no one would talk to Kim, not even in the makeup room, which I was like, how awkward and weird is that?
Not even the makeup artist?
Oh, no, I'm assuming that makeup artists probably are just doing what...
I can just imagine they don't talk to her, but they know they have to do the makeup, so they're just passing her notes.
How am I doing your makeup today?
Choose one, good, bad.
That's her only choice.
No in between. It's either good or bad.
I don't know. Let's go with bad today.
No wonder everyone hated her. She always chose bad on the makeup choice.
Oh my gosh. All right. So even with all of this tension, Kim, she signs on to do the first movie, but reluctantly. Daily News reported Kim does not want to do the film. She feels she has been treated horribly by Sarah Jessica Parker for 6 years. Even with this hanging over the movie, it was a hit, making, guess how much money it made worldwide?
Worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say $247 million.
No, $415 million. It's a lot of dough.
$415 million more than it should have made.
Yeah. So instantly, everyone is reporting that Kim demanded and received
all of the
more money to
million.
sign on. Yes. Nobody else made any money on the show, not even. And they didn't get reimbursed for any of the money that they spent to make the movie. It all just went to Kim. And everybody was fine with it.
Except for the makeup artist.
They were the most mad. They're like, oh, yeah, I'll do your makeup bad, all right. No.
Could I have some of your money? Circle 1, yes or no?
No.
No.
So everyone was making it seem like Kim was being a diva, asking for money, but there was a huge difference between what Sarah was getting compared to everyone else, so it only seemed fair to spread the love when it came to the profits. Even with this sound reasoning, when the second movie started, things were awkward.
I feel like everybody on that movie, all 4 of those women would have acted like divas.
Yes, that's what I was thinking the whole time.
It's like the one that used the toilet toothbrush.
Mm-hmm.
She was
Kristen Davis.
So I think she was more.
She was
down
a little,
to earth.
yes.
I think
yes.
because she was in comedy and kind of came from that. So I think she was probably a little more humble than the other 3.
Melrose Place isn't.
Well, yeah,
comedy.
But that was when she got into that type of a show.
The dramedy? Is that what you're trying to say it is?
Melrose Place was part comedy?
No.
It was pure drama.
Yes.
I mean, it was a dramedy to you because you always used to laugh at how ridiculous things were.
There were so... but that's why that Seinfeld episode where Jerry is talking about it.
Was one of the people from Melrose Place named Billy? I
don't remember.
I want to say it was.
When Jerry is talking about how ridiculous like some of the stuff is and how that, I can't even remember the people on the show, but how that one guy makes him so mad. That could have been me talking about it.
But yeah, you watched it.
I did. I always watched it. Oh, it's good times. All right. So here we go. We're now in 2017 and there is a talk for a third movie. But
wait, so nothing except for nothing. She reluctantly agreed for the second. Now all of a sudden we're on the third.
Yes. Because
so nothing eventful happened in the second one?
I could not find anything because we'll talk about it a little bit later on why. on why there's not a ton of back and forth yet.
Just making sure I didn't accidentally fall asleep for 5 minutes.
You did not accidentally fall asleep. There wasn't a lot, but we'll find out why there wasn't a lot for me to report on. I'm just hitting the highlights here of what I could find because I read quite a few articles about this.
Hit them high.
All right, so they're in the talks for a third movie in 2017. This is when the Daily Mail reported that once again, Kim was causing issues, and because of her, Warner Brothers had to cancel production. They said her demands were just too high and they wouldn't do the movie with just the 3 actresses. After the story came out, Kim tweeted that the only quote-unquote demand she made was not to do the movie, claiming she had said no in 2016.
It would have been better if the only demand she made was to play all 4 parts. She played all 4 of those characters.
She goes in with wigs.
She pulls Orphan Black and just plays everything.
Oh my word. Or she's like Dwight when he has all the wigs for everybody in the office.
Did I just ruin a good petty round table? I think I did.
That's hilarious. I only want to play everybody. Do you see how good I look in this red wig? Miranda can't pull this off. I can't remember her name, so I'm calling her Miranda. I wish that was her demand. That's amazing. That's why she wanted to make all of the money. You don't even need them. You don't even need them.
I'll play all the parts, even the men.
One actress, I can do it all. No, that is not it. So Sarah confirms there was not going to be another movie, saying she was disappointed, but she didn't really say anything about Kim. In response to all the trash talk about her, Kim decides it's time to open up, and she goes on Piers Morgan to address the accusations that she was being demanding and a diva. Do you remember Piers Morgan?
Piers Morgan?
Piers
Cattrall? Of course I know who Piers is.
Piers?
He's
like a peer?
Odd fellow.
He is a little bit weird. But that's who she decides to go on to open up about this. So she said she clearly and firmly told them that she was done playing Samantha. It was time for her to move on, and it was as simple as that. When asked if they were friends, she said they were colleagues, and that's not always a bad thing. Then she said she wanted to take to task. That's literally the word she used. Take to task the people from Sex and the City, and specifically Sarah Jessica Parker. She felt that Sarah really could have been nicer, and she didn't know what her issue was. She really didn't like to be made out to be the bad guy, saying she never asked for any money. The whole relationship she felt was toxic, since how she was asked and then pressured to do the third movie again painted her in a bad light, when really it was just her being done with that chapter in her life. So basically, she was saying that she had told them no in 2016. So why were they even continuing to pursue this? Money. There was no talking her into it. She made it very clear that there was no talking her into it. And then they kept making her look bad. And then all of the blame fell on her for this when she just had legit reasons. Like, she felt like there was no need for another movie. She didn't want to play that character anymore.
I'm kind of torn on this, though, because if you gain notoriety, and I know she was on other movies and things, TV shows or whatnot before this, many of them. But if you gain your main notoriety, like when you think of a person's name and that's what you're thought of. I mean, these 4 women are always going to be known for Sex and the City. That's it. No matter what else they've done, they're going to be known as the 4 ladies from this TV show. Why people fight against that, I don't understand.
But a lot of actors and actresses do that.
I don't get it. Like,
I don't either.
That's what made you famous. That's what made you money.
And people love you at that. Like, I think, and obviously, he's been in the news a lot lately, but that has nothing to do with why I'm picking him. But, I mean, look at Johnny Depp and the character that he plays for Caribbean. I mean, he is Jack Sparrow. There is Disney can replace him all they want, or try to replace him, which I don't think they're going to now. But I don't care who they put in that spot.
Or what's his name there that played Iron Man?
Yes.
Same thing.
Exactly.
You can't, even if you replace, it doesn't matter if they replace him. Obviously, it's going to be different. But I'm just talking that's what you're known for. Embrace it. That's
or you have
your money.
Like David Tennant, who he is such a good actor because I loved him in Doctor Who. He is the whole reason why. I mean, I loved the doctor that plays the 9th Doctor. My God, my nerd is coming out right now. But him as Doctor Who, I mean, he sucked me into that show. And then he was in the Marvel show as a bad guy, and he plays such a good bad guy that it almost is like, wait a second, this is my favorite Doctor. What is he doing? He is that good of an actor that, like, he doesn't need the fact that he is very well known for Doctor Who, but he totally embraces it. He goes around to the show, to the different like little fan things that they have. He answers people's questions. He's actually going back on it now, which I am so excited for because the last two Doctors actually.
Welcome to Doctor Who pod.
No, thank you on those, but they embrace the character, and I think it makes them even more lovable.
The only reason I said that too is because I just read something the other day about how BJ Novak, Ryan from The Office, he made a comment that he wants people for the rest of his acting career. That's what he wants. He doesn't want people to forget that. That's how he wants to be known.
Yeah.
That's how he wants to be thought of.
There's tons because on the Office Ladies podcast, which I love, they have all of these different actors and actresses that were on the show for like just 1 or 2 episodes, sometimes just 1 episode. And they'll say how they've gone on to other popular shows and they are still recognized from The Office and that they're like super proud of it. So it is weird to me that like people do that. I do understand what you're saying.
I mean,
like,
I get if you don't want to play the character anymore, but
why seem so angry about it? Because there's a lot of people that do that. Like they feel like they're getting stereotyped.
Or they're better than that now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel that's probably the number one reason. They're above it. They don't.
Yes. Like what's his face who played Kramer? I felt like he started acting like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was too good for that or something. I don't know. It's interesting. But we are not actors or actresses, so I guess we can't relate.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't get it, but
I don't know.
Pay me a few $1 million, I'll be happy to embrace whatever I have to act like.
I guess they were not. So that was quite a tangent. I love you, David Tennant, just in case he ever hears this. I love his wife, too, who also was on Doctor Who. That's how they met. They are the cutest couple in the entire world.
That's also another thing I don't get. People that meet on TV shows and movies, like, oh, we're so in love, let's get married.
Yes, but they're still married, and they seem very
But how
happy.
rare is that?
It is very rare, but if anybody could do it, it's her and David Tennant.
What's her name?
I can't remember her name. She's just adorable. I do know that. She was super cute in the show. She played his daughter in the show. And
That's
her
just another
dad,
pet peeve of mine.
Her dad was another actor who played Doctor Who. But there's this whole thing about it. It's funny. It's cute. Anybody who listens who watches Doctor Who.
We don't watch it. We only listen to it. We put it on the background. We close our eyes and we imagine. I've never seen 1 second of the show, but in my mind, I have this whole thing.
Well, they do have audio ones that you can listen to as well. But anyway, anybody who watches that show already knows that. And they're all going, yeah, we love Doctor Who right now.
Do you think that there was a person that only ever listened to Doctor Who and had this picture in their mind of what it was, what it looked like, and then they watched the actual TV show? Do you think they'd be disappointed? I
think that goes like when you're reading a book. Your imagination is always better than seeing it. Because like Lord of the Rings, they did a really good job. My God, could I be any more nerdy? But Lord of the Rings, they did a really, really good job with those movies. And even then, it still did not meet my imagination from when I read it as a kid. Nothing beats your imagination. So yes, I think they would be very disappointed for certain parts of it. And then other parts, I think they'd be pleasantly surprised. Especially if they were watching David Tennant.
Even farther tangent.
Anyway, so going back to Kim.
What if David Tennant was a character on Lord of the Rings?
That would have been amazing. He was on, which I had never gotten into, Harry Potter. He played a bad guy, I think, in Harry Potter. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure he was a bad guy. But I've never seen it, so I don't know. Not a Harry Potter fan. All of the other nerdy things that I like, but Harry Potter, no thank you. So Kim, she says, after this whole tangent,
that's right.
got done talking
Sex
about.
in the City.
Yes, we are. So she says she simply wants to move on. And then Kim reiterates
one thing I don't understand is why actresses, when they're stuck in a role, don't want to be known for that role anymore.
No. We're not going back into a circle, honey. We're not getting stuck in this.
All right. Trying to loop us.
No, we can't loop. So she says again, she really wishes that Sarah had been nicer. And you can watch the video. In the background, you hear the audience start mumbling about this comment because they are they just don't sound like they're very happy about everything that she's saying.
You be her making the announcement and I'll be the audience.
Okay. I really wish Sarah Jessica Parker could have been nicer.
Sarah Jessica, she's nice.
Yeah, that's pretty much it right there. I like it. Good job. A couple people actually even booed her. So they were not happy with this. So this prompts Piers. I really want to rename people this episode.
It's your new thing lately.
So he asks her about the rumors that had persisted about them not getting along. So Kim admits that there had and still is genuine affection, but with what had happened, it was different. It seemed to me like the denying about them not liking each other was for the sake of the show, which you already said. So she also said she wishes them all well. So basically, I do like pretty much her acting like that. There's no way that she is saying, I wish Jessica had been nicer the last 6 years. I don't want to do this because Jessica could have been nicer. Sarah Jessica could have been nicer. Like, there's no way that there was not truth to many of these rumors. And they were just trying to be like, no, everything is fine. Because like you said, the sake of the show and their image, they don't want like that drama to steal away from the show. I agreed with you.
Just but not you have to think, I feel like a lot of times, a lot of these things we've talked about, people do it for the sake of the notoriety of it.
Yeah, but still, I feel like there is stuff to it. I don't think
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
She wasn't drawing. This was because everything was over. She was done. She wanted nothing to do with all of this.
Plus, if it's done, leave it.
Yes.
Why keep bringing it up?
Well, she went on there.
Instigators like Piers Morgan who would just keep bringing it up, and people like us that talk about it.
That's right. But she also wanted to, like, she was mad about her image being ruined because of this. This is why she went on there, to try to fix her image by talking trash about somebody else. Because that always helps.
Of Kim Cattrall from her character in Sex and the City.
Oh, God.
Listen, honey, your image is fine.
Is that what she always said?
Yes.
I feel like you secretly have watched the show.
I've never watched the show,
but it's coming out now.
Definitely watched so many things mocking the show.
Sure you have.
I'll just keep my comments to myself then. I'll just sit here silently.
Keep doing it because I want to see how much of the show you actually know. I want all the truth to come out.
Well, I'll tell you everything I know about the show. There's 4 ladies and they live in New York City.
I already told you all that.
And there's a guy that looks like me.
I've already told you all that.
That's all I know about the show.
Okay. So.
Oh, and there's Mr. Big.
Yes. Oh, my God. I was just going to say, you're forgetting about Mr. Big. Sometimes
Again,
I feel like you're in my head.
I was just listening to something where they were making fun of this whole situation.
I could not is that his real name? Is that a nickname? If it's his nickname, I hate it. I hate it with a red hot passion.
Your face right now is so disgusting. You can hear it in your voice how much you hate that.
I hope
your face
people can.
Just got like
I'm very disdainful.
I can't even describe the disgust on your face.
I did. I hated it. I hated it.
You had so much anger and animosity in your face, in your mouth when you said that. In your eyes, they like turned red. It was all right, they didn't turn red, but you had disgust in your eyes. Like if you had just made that face and not said anything, I was like, I could say you're disgusted about something.
Yes. Thank you. That's what that face was for.
But you make that face a lot at people, so I've gotten used to it.
We did find out I'm judgy. But I really liked the actor who played that, and it almost ruined him for me. Because he was in Law and Order, and he was one of my favorite actors on Law and Order.
What was his character's name, Mr. Small?
That's why I hated
Officer
it that they called
Small.
him Mr. Big.
I'm
No.
Officer Small.
Mm-mm. He was not Officer Small. All right, so.
Now that would have been comedy.
That would have been comedy. And then that's why they called him Mr. Big. And then I wouldn't be so disgusted because it's comedy, but it's not Mr. Big. Give me a break. All right, so January.
B-I-G-G.
No.
That's what I would have done.
All right, so January 2018, Sarah goes on Stephen Colbert, which we love Stephen Colbert. He's hilarious.
He just incited insurrection at the Capitol building, apparently.
So stupid.
He just broke in and took over the president's desk and smeared feces all over it.
You know, if there's one thing that I always think of with Stephen Colbert is he's always trying to overthrow the government, that guy. It's so stupid. Him and his insurrections.
Well, we just dated this episode.
It doesn't
It's
matter.
funny,
It's still funny.
About that.
So silliness there. That could be a whole episode.
Stephen Colbert's insurrection.
Yeah. Talking about how petty he is, just trying to cause insurrections everywhere.
We should have a whole podcast dedicated to his insurrection. It would be one half of an episode.
We'd have to just make up lots of stuff that he tried to do.
Do a deep dive into the insurrection of Stephen Colbert.
We'll have to go back to, instead of his late night show now, we'll have to go back to his other show when he was he played a very right-wing character, and we'll have to use anything he said on that show like it's fact, and that's what we'll have to use. Like it's a real person. Like he wasn't Come on, folks. Nobody plays that well. Don't let him pull the wool over your eyes.
You just used a Stephen Colbert line. Folks.
Does he say that?
Yeah, all the time.
Oh, maybe I guess I did used to watch his show because I loved it.
He especially used to do it on his show on Comedy Central. He doesn't do it as much now, but that was always, folks, that was always his thing.
I guess I pulled that from the back of my brain and didn't even remember.
You kind of said it like him too, which is why it jogged my memory.
Huh. I guess it was in the back of my head. That's really funny. Well, that's what we're going to do.
Lots of tangents this week.
Yes, that'll be a whole episode about Stephen Colbert. He will love it.
Forget episode. We're doing a whole deep dive podcast series about it.
Oh my God, that would be really fun, actually, on how it even came about. So anyway, he jokes to Sarah about what role he could play in Sex and the City. Sarah says the role played by Kim Cattrall was vacated, so he could play that part. She made the same joke when she went on Ellen, but said there is a period of grief, a mourning process, then maybe they can move on without Kim. On What Happens Live, she said she was heartbroken about what Kim had said on Piers Morgan. She said, I found it very upsetting because that's not the way I recall our experience. So here is where we're going to start getting into a lot of like, what is even happening? It's very weird, and it kind of blows up a little bit.
Let's do it.
So, the month after that aired, in February 2018, Kim Cattrall's 55-year-old brother committed suicide after he had been missing for a few days. On Cattrall's Instagram, Sarah wrote, Dearest Kim, my love and condolences to you and yours, and Godspeed to your beloved brother, XX. So my question to you is, what do you think about Sarah commenting on this publicly like that? What do you think?
2 words. Who cares? She was just trying to be nice. Okay, so humans are humans. People are going, no matter what you have going on, something like that happens. You can be human and show compassion. Even if they hated each other, you can be human and have compassion for 30 seconds and be like, hey, I'm really sorry that happened. Yeah. But I still hate you.
Mm-hmm. But remember, Sarah has never really said anything bad publicly.
Then there's really nothing
to Kim.
Well, She could have, I'm guessing Cattrall made it seem like she was just trying to be the good person in this whole feud by writing that.
Okay.
But again, it's kind of like the whole Ann Landers' Dear Abby, when the daughter said that thing. I mean, she was just trying to say something nice. Why assume the worst about someone?
All right. Well, you want to hear what happens?
Please say it's, I hope it's not nothing, because I just talked about it for a lot.
Well, people asked her why she had wrote that. So she basically said it's natural to do when you spent a lot of time with someone. And supposedly she had also reached out privately by calling and texting Kim as well. Whether she was able to talk to her or not was not said.
I mean, is that much different than like if two people are married, they get divorced and one of their parents dies or something, they just reach out and they're just like, hey, sorry to hear about your mom. It's not much different than that.
But if she had already texted Kim privately, what is the point of going on her Instagram and doing it publicly? Which is, I'm assuming, why she was asked about it.
Well, clout, obviously.
So that's where I'm torn.
I think you want everyone to know at that point that you're better than this whole situation. Look what I did. She would never do that. So I get it, but.
Because I feel like if you already tried calling her, whether you talked to her or not, I don't know. And then if you also texted her already, she knows. She saw your text. She heard your voicemail if you left her one. So then what is the point of putting it out there publicly, very publicly, because a lot of people follow her, for everyone to see?
I mean, it's definitely something I get annoyed about, like when people use social media, Twitter and Facebook, things like that. Oh, happy Father's Day to the greatest father in the world. Why don't you just text your father and say, Happy Father's Day, I think you're great? Why do you have to put that out there for everybody? Because you want people to think you're a good person.
Oh, that's their way of being nice. In a social media world.
Well, we shouldn't be living in one.
Oh.
You have text plans on your phone. Just use it. Send a text message. There's no way all these people don't have text plans.
A lot of people do like the attention.
That I would wager, now here's me being judgy, I would wager at least 75 to 80% of people that do that are doing it for the attention because they want people to say, hey, look at how great I am.
And not the attention going on the person that they're saying it to.
It doesn't matter about either of those people. Just send a text message to the person you're saying something to. I'm judging. What can I say?
You can say just what you said.
Hate me, like me, I don't care. It's just how I feel.
Well,
you don't seem too happy that I said that.
No, I kind of agree. I think a lot of times people will put on social media only things that they want everyone to see.
I think this is one of those situations.
Yeah. So I do feel like it was unnecessary. That's my opinion of it. I don't feel like it was necessary at all. You did not have to comment, especially when it's something like that. Her brother just died, and it's not great. And they were worried sick about him because he had suffered from mental
But did
problems.
Kim Cattrall respond to a text message?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. But you know, if you send a text message to somebody, unless you're blocked, and maybe she was blocked, but who cares? That is her business. You don't need to, you don't have to put it out there for everyone to see. She did not have to do it. So Kim, she is not happy about this. She made a whole post about it, and you can still see it on her account. It says, I don't need your love or support at this tragic time at Sarah Jessica Parker. And then that's her post. Is that those words?
I'm going to start a reality show. So this thought
Wait,
just
do you
started.
want to let me read the rest of her comment?
Okay.
Or do you want to say stuff to see if you're right on whatever?
No, go ahead, finish it.
Okay. So then in the comment section, and she made it that nobody can put comments on there as well
Lame.
either. Just her.
That's lame too.
Put this comment on
if you're
there.
Gonna write it, let people comment on it.
She says, my mom asked me today, when will that and she made sure she at Sarah Jessica Parker on this. That hypocrite leave you alone. Your continuous reaching out is a painful reminder of how cruel you really were then and now. Let me make this very, in all caps, clear, if I haven't already. You are not my family. You are not my friend. So I'm writing to tell you one last time to stop exploiting our tragedy. Kind of like how we are. No, not her tragedy of her brother dying. I'm just talking about their feud.
Their feud is not a tragedy.
It is a tragedy, though. In order to restore your quote-unquote nice girl persona. Then she put a link to a New York Post article titled, Inside the Mean Girls Culture That Destroyed Sex and the City. And I actually went to that article. It was an interesting read. So that was it. That's what she posted.
And that was her mom?
No, that's what Kim.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's what her mom asked her.
Right.
And she put it on there. So what's your reality TV show?
My reality TV show, and I think people would watch this.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have some sort of a show where we get teams of people.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about a lot of people so far that try to insult on Twitter, go back and forth on Twitter. I would like to see teams of people somehow make it a game out of tweeting at the other team and coming up with like good responses. And every week you get voted on your responses. Something along those lines. There's got to be some sort of a reality TV show based on this whole thing of people trying to insult each other and having these petty feuds with people on Twitter.
And who is the best?
Is there a best?
I mean, you can be really funny at your insults. There's a lot of really funny comebacks on
There is, but
Twitter.
I'm just talking about like the ones that are just not good at it.
So Elon Musk and Bezos.
Just be the two of them, I guess. No, I think because Twitter's involved so many times now.
No, Anish Kapoor could be.
Yeah.
Because his was pretty terrible.
So many people are using Twitter to just go at people and say what they maybe would say in person. I don't know.
No way. There's so many things that people will say on social media that if you got face to face, like what's their faces? The golf people.
Mm-hmm.
When they were face to face, they had an okay conversation because they're face to face. Because a lot of people cannot say stuff to people.
I just feel there's a reality show in there somewhere.
I think it would be fun. It could be funny. Fun to make fun of them. All right, so publicly...
Someone wants to do that, go ahead. I'm never going to do it.
I guarantee you somebody's going to totally steal your idea. And then you'll be so mad.
I will. Be like, man, I should have just done it.
So this is where I talked about this earlier. So publicly, Sarah didn't criticize Kim, saying there was no fight. It was made up because she never responded and that Kim needed to say what she needed to say, and that is her privilege. This is the same tone she took interview after interview, refusing to acknowledge any catfight and saying she always held Kim's work in high regard. And on the other hand, you have Kim. She sticks to her guns in interviews. And when she was inevitably asked about Sex and the City, she said she never understood why they didn't just replace her with another actress instead of wasting time bullying her.
Feels like it would have been an easy part to write off and just bring a new person in. It's just
Yes.
4 ladies sitting around drinking mimosas.
I mean, that's what she said. Like, what's the point? Get somebody else to play. It's not that big of a deal. I don't want to be in a situation for even an hour where I'm not enjoying myself. She then would not talk about the feud too much, just telling people they can Google it if they need to know about any of it. So, see, just like I said, you can look up anything about anything. My great advice is coming back. She stole my advice. Just you can look it up.
Look up anything about anything.
You can look up anything about anything. So that is their story. There's not a lot of back and forth.
There's not. I was just thinking it's been very one-sided.
Yes, but I'm going to go off on a little tangent about Sarah Jessica Parker.
Makes me wonder what she's doing in the background.
Yes, because I'm telling you right now, I've always thought that Sarah Jessica Parker is probably just a little bit of a puke to deal with. She just gives off that attitude of just, I guarantee you, she's doing what my stepfather used to do to me, where that I would get super angry and then I would be the one lashing out. And then he would be like, oh, can you believe I have to deal with this stepdaughter of mine?
So you think she's a gaslighter?
Yes. I think she's absolutely a gaslighter. And I think that's why she went on to the Instagram and why she put that, because again, it's publicly out there. Oh, I look great. What?
Cool. I always find that funny when people say, I'm going to go on the Twitter. I'm going to go on the Instagram.
I'm like an old person now. Hey, how do I go on that Instagram?
Have you ever been on the Google?
I got to get on the World Wide Web.
Classic.
Anyway, that's my theory about it. I feel like she definitely was pushing some buttons behind the scenes and then pulling, I almost said his name, pulling my stepfather and being like, oh, I'm so innocent.
Is Kim Cattrall married?
She was. She got a divorce. I think she might be remarried now, though.
Was she married while the show was being done?
Yes, we talked about that. Remember? They rented a house for the three.
Well,
she
it was
had
just
her
a
own
quick little mention.
Because her husband was supposed to join her. And then she didn't want to do the second movie. They said she was being difficult, but she was going through a divorce and taking care of her father with dementia. But I'm pretty sure she got remarried.
That's irrelevant. I just have an idea for the Petty Roundtable already.
All right. Well, I say we head on over there.
Okay.
Because I want to hear
We
your
can
idea.
Talk about that and maybe even talk about this more.
Well, I'm going to show you that Instagram post. We're going to go on the Instagram.
All right. Let's look at the Instagram while we're going to the Petty Roundtable. All right. We're here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't seem happy to be here.
Nope.
Blunt, but okay.
No, I just took a sip of my San Pellegrino.
You mean your Snapple?
Yeah, my Snapple. And I felt like I had a little belch.
Started recording right at the right time.
Yeah. So then I was afraid to open my mouth too wide.
All right, so I'm jumping right in before I forget.
Yes, do it.
Okay, so we are going to rent an auditorium.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have everybody that's been involved with the Sex and the City TV show or movie in the audience.
Okay.
There's going to be 5 chairs on the stage.
Okay.
5 chairs on the
musical
stage.
Chairs?
No, 5 chairs on the stage, 2 of them facing each other.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah Jessica Parker in one, Kim Cattrall in the other.
Okay.
On the backs of those chairs is another chair facing opposite. Or no, that's going to be facing the audience. And it's going to be Matthew Broderick on one side and Kim Cattrall's husband from when she was on Sex and the City in the other one, facing the audience.
Okay.
And there's going to be, if you remember one of our episodes, I think it was the Martha Stewart one where they went on that show, or she went on the show and she had to, they get 3 questions, you get 1 pass.
Yes.
We're going to get Andy Cohen to host this, and he is going to be asking questions of the husbands about what they've ever said about the other person while they're sitting there looking at each other in front of each other. And you're going to get asked every 3 questions you get, you can pass on 1 of them. It resets after every 3 questions, and they have to sit there and look at each other while these things are being said by their husbands.
That would be awesome. We'd get all of the tea.
I don't know. It would probably go on for about an hour, 60 minutes worth of questions, and you only get to pass 1 out of every 3. So some of them might not get answered, but
the majority will. Plus, okay,
and they have to sit there and look at each other, and you get to sit there and watch how red they get in the face.
Well, okay, Kim's husband that she's divorced to, he's not going to give 2 craps. He's just going to say everything that she's ever said.
Yeah.
But Matthew and Sarah are still married.
Which will make it interesting.
Yes, because he's going to be like, oh, crap.
Now, none of them will ever
the
agree
tea.
to this, but in my Petty Roundtable fantasy world, this is a real thing.
This should happen. I would totally watch this.
This would be better than Melrose Place.
Yes. Do you know how many people would watch this?
Lots of people. I have great ideas, but I just never do anything with them.
How? How are you going to do it? How are you going to get that to happen?
Be like, yo, Matt, what's up? I got a TV show. We'll do it on Broadway.
Loved you in Ferris Bueller, huh? Huh? Nobody can see me that I was doing finger guns at you. That would be amazing. Because
all the hot goss would come out. It would be truthful. And then
that Kim's ex-husband would be like, oh yeah.
So all of her dirty laundry is going to get spilled. Mm-hmm. And then once this is over, I'm going to have camera crews set up, and they're going to film Matthew Broderick and Sarah Jessica Parker afterwards for a couple of weeks to see the fallout from that. And that's going to be an 8-part miniseries on TV.
My God, it would be a whole thing.
And then they're going to get divorced because they can't stay together. And then there's going to be different interviews, one with Piers Morgan, one with someone else that will come up with, and they're going to talk about each other in these interviews.
And then we'll get.
And
all
then
the
we're going to have a podcast talking about
Broderick.
the Matthew Broderick, Sarah Jessica Parker petty feud.
So how long have they been married?
I don't know. Quite a while.
I mean, it's been a long time. So you would be their downfall.
That's my plan.
Through everything. Oh, why? So you can marry Sarah Jessica Parker?
Yes.
Oh, they've been married as long as we have. They got married the same year we did. So us married for 25 years would go and ruin their 25-year marriage.
Whole point of it.
That would be interesting.
So it doesn't just stop right there at the auditorium. This is an ongoing thing, full circle up until our podcast about Matthew Broderick and Sarah Jessica Parker feud, having a petty feud. That's where it ends.
That's amazing.
Got to think long term. You got to plan for these things.
For sure. Well, I like it. That would be amazing. And we could get to the bottom of this.
I would watch it, and I know nothing about any of these people.
Yes, me too. I would totally watch that. And then we could see my theory was correct and that Sarah Jessica Parker likes to gaslight.
Except they can't say anything. They have to stay silent the whole time.
Which would be hard for... I think Sarah could do it because a really good gaslighter. Because my stepfather was not. And I figured out very quickly how to push his buttons.
And there's got to be some sort of punishment for them if they do something.
Yes.
Like out of... Maybe if they want to shake their head or something, but...
They'll probably... Well, I think that Sarah Jessica Parker would play it super cool. But I think Kim would be ready to blow up. I think she would be super mad at anything that Matthew Broderick said because he's given all the secrets out. But I still think she would play it cool.
Out of all four, I know Andy Cohen would host it because I think he'll host anything if someone comes to him.
Isn't he What Happens Live or whatever that? Because they were Sarah Jessica Parker went on that.
So, out of those four people, Matthew Broderick, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kim Cattrall, or her unknown husband, which do you think the first person to say no to that whole scenario would be?
Oh man, I feel like Kim wouldn't really necessarily care what her ex-husband said. I don't think she would care what Sarah knows. She seems like the kind of person who would just tell her to her face anyways. So
who
I
would
think
think
it would
about it longer, Sarah Jessica Parker or Matthew Broderick?
Probably Matthew. What you mean, like answering it?
No, thinking about it, like
actually doing it.
Like the first person to say no, who would hold out a little bit longer and like, well, maybe.
I think they would both in unison say no because they would know instantly this is going nowhere good for us.
We got to ask them on the right day where maybe they're not getting along. So to set this all up, we have to have a reality show set up about them where we can kind of see all this from happening.
And then we'll have to gaslight them into this.
And that's
Sarah,
going to be a big
Matthew
reveal.
Annoying?
That's going to be the big reveal on the end of their reality show, is that we're going to do this whole thing. And then it's the follow-up. Season 2 is going to be the whole reality show of them after this.
I like how we're trying to plan out their whole lives just so we can have this.
Just so we can have entertainment.
It would be entertaining, though. I like Matthew Broderick a lot, so I would feel bad.
Who's taller, him or Tom Cruise?
I think him.
So what's he, like 4'6"?
No, he's taller than that.
Sarah Jessica Parker's got a good foot on him, I think.
No, he's taller than her.
No way.
For sure. She's not a tall person. What do you think?
It's
She was
just
like a
always
giant?
It's just always her poofy hair.
She doesn't have poofy hair.
She does.
No, she just wears heels.
Well, it's her poofy hair and heels.
He is 5'8".
Yeah, I'm 5'8.5". I'm still taller than him.
Oh, look at you go. And then Sarah Jessica Parker. Yeah, she's short. She's me. She's only 5'3". So they're basically us, and you're making fun of their height. They're almost the same exact height as us. They've been married for 25 years, and that's all. That's all of our similarities.
Well, that's our podcast. I'm Matthew Broderick, and that's been Sarah Jessica Parker.
Oh, my goodness.
We went off the rails quite a bit this week.
We did, but it was funny. I am still very deliriously tired from work.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my blame. I'm just real tired.
What's my excuse?
You're just along for the ride of my delirious train.
I'm just on the tangent train, I guess.
I guess, but I liked it. All right, so now we are going to end our episode. And we're going to do it just go to our website.
Which is?
Don't remember.
Let's
talkpetty.com.
I was going to say, it starts with an L.
I just said it.
I didn't hear.
Well, I don't know how you didn't hear it.
Because I was thinking of what letter it started with.
It took all of your brain power to say it starts with an L that you didn't hear my whole sentence.
I just came up with the greatest idea in the world. My brain's tired.
Just go to our website.
Which is letstalkpetty.com.
That's what I just said.
But please, after you go to our website, share it with someone. Share the podcast. Tell someone about it. And then tell us who you shared it with so we can follow up with them to make sure you're not lying.
Send us all of their pertinent information.
We will follow up if you tell us that you shared it with someone.
We will, because we have so much time on our hands.
Once this whole show is set up with Matthew Broderick, Sarah Jessica Parker, we are going to have time on our hands, so we will be following up.
Oh, we definitely will. Mm-hmm. So
but for now, we don't. So that's our episode for this week.
Yes.
Tell someone, share, tell us, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye. Thanks for listening. Please be sure and give our show a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. And be sure to follow and subscribe so you don't miss an episode.